more presentations on sustainability and marketing efforts. So I'm going to quickly turn things over to our friends at Lifa Communications. You got 20 minutes total.
Thank you so much, John. And I think we can definitely do it within the 20 minutes. So let's start. So I'm Gabriella from Lifa Communications. Let's start there. And we keep hearing about sustainability. So that's the topic for the next 10 minutes or so, and specifically how it relates to our industry. Vanadium is a critical metal when considering the needs within the broader energy storage conversation, specifically long duration utility scale energy storage. And vanadium electrolyte and its ability to be recycled and reused is a key aspect when considering vanadium's contribution to sustainable development in the energy storage discussion. So our presentation today will therefore touch on how vanadium fits into the sustainability discussion, vanadium's contribution to sustainable development, and also how we can then shape the discussion on vanadium using the momentum already created by this flourishing clean energy transition. John, next slide, please. So a focus on sustainable development is crucial, not only in the way that we sustainably use the limited vanadium resource that we mine, but it's equally important in the broader sustainable development discussion. While most vanadium is used within the steel sector, as Terry just explained, the vanadium used in the production of vanadium electrolyte for the VRFB contributes to the creation of this circular economy, where the vanadium can be reused or recycled. Next slide, please. So the use of vanadium in VRFBs creates an energy storage system that is not only inherently sustainable, but one that's also used to create more of a sustainable ecosystem for us to live in, by enabling power systems to move away from polluting fossil fuels to integrating as much renewable energy as possible. And this current climate crisis that we keep talking about has created additional momentum around sustainable development and the use of battery energy storage. Next slide, please, John. So despite the many end uses of vanadium, which we all will be discussed a little bit here, all of which have their own kind of sustainability benefits, the positive long-term sustainability benefits of vanadium are most apparent when considering its uses in battery energy storage. John, next slide, please. So as much as this today is an energy storage webinar, then I just want to touch very briefly on something else, and it's the steel making sector. Because the addition of only a small amount of vanadium being used to strengthen steel. So the data shows that by doing this, it results in an annual global carbon emission reduction equivalent to planting 260 million trees. And I just think that that number is quite one to just let sink in for a moment. John, the next slide, please. So then if we're now looking at the energy storage specifically, so the VRFB have the potential to create this green energy solution, which combines the renewable energy storage and the battery storage, reducing the reliance on fossil fuels. The use of vanadium in VRFBs also then enables greater renewable energy penetration, as it allows the storage of wind and solar energy for use around the clock. John, the next slide. There's a lot more information on these slides, but I think just they will be available for later to read through a little bit. Let's look at the other applications though. Also vanadium, when used in automotives and the aerospace sectors, it helps to increase the strength to weight ratio and therefore also increasing fuel efficiency. Next slide, please, John. So as mentioned previously, the most significant long-term sustainability benefits of vanadium is in its use in the battery energy storage. And the future vanadium demand is expected to be driven by the increased global adoption of renewable energy and the subsequent need for large scale electricity storage. Next slide, please. There we go. So while fast-paced growth in renewable energy sector will assist in the decarbonization of energy systems, renewable energy generation is difficult to align with energy demand. And this has resulted in a need to employ technology that can reliably store renewable energy for use at a later stage, regardless of when it was actually generated. And battery storage make this possible. The use of VRFB energy storage systems are enabling consumers to use renewable energy systems for 100% of their actual power needs. So some statistics are a clear indication of the carbon emission savings that can result from increased renewable energy as a result of being combined with battery energy storage. Next slide, please, John. So how the world produces and uses energy is the main cause of the climate crisis. The use of vanadium in energy storage not only offers many benefits to power systems, while also supporting renewable energy integration, but it also supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the climate action points that was identified at COP26 that need to be taken to address this climate change. So the vanadium redox flow batteries, which offer this long duration utility scale energy storage solutions, combined with its ability to integrate renewable energy into existing utility power grids, provides a step change in the way the world produces energy. It also enables greater access to electricity, so removing the need for people to use polluting fossil fuels for cooking and heating. And the Glasgow Climate Pact, which was signed by over 200 countries at COP26, is an indication of the global commitment towards climate action and support. And so was the formation of the Long Duration Energy Storage Council, also at COP26 last year. Vanitec member Cellcube joined the launch of the Long Duration Energy Storage Council. And its mission is to enable renewable energy to replace fossil fuels by using a zero carbon energy storage. And so renewable energy combined with energy storage and a reduction in fossil fuel use is a critical pathway to achieving this very crucial temperature goal. John, the next two slides, please. So on the next two slides, as it loads here, you will see some articles and research report clippings on vanadium and its contribution to sustainable development and its use in energy storage. And John, thanks. And it's important to continue to shape and build on these ongoing discussions to drive further momentum around VRFBs as long duration energy storage and the utility scale potential of the VRFBs. Next slide, please, John. And also our final slide of this presentation. So based on the significant momentum built around the clean energy transition, now is really the time to promote the sustainable and reliable future of energy supply that can be achieved through vanadium and the VRFBs. And it's important that the balance can be struck between the growing demand on one side and then the less carbon pollution on the other. So energy storage, and with the VRFB very much included in that, is really the key to the key technology to achieving this. John, that was this presentation on sustainability. What I do want to add, just before I hand over to my colleague Naledi on the marketing update from us, is one of the key things that we will focus on in the coming weeks is to add the sustainability part of the Vanitec's website, where a lot of this information that we just discussed and that you could see will be added in one form or another. And it's really going to be our main focus for 2022 from the marketing point of view. Thank you so much. And Naledi, over to you.
Thanks, Gabrielle. Yeah, I was going to mention that as well. And we will let all of you who participated in today's webinar know as soon as that new sustainability portion of the website is live and ready to go. So thank you, Gabriella. Go ahead, Naledi.
Thank you, Gabby, and thank you, John. Next slide, please, John. So just a quick year in review for 2021. As the world continues to move towards an economic, social, and governance, or an ESG focus, the topic of sustainability continues to grow, not only in online conversations, but also as a core business focal point. And therefore, Vanitec continues to increase its marketing efforts in promoting the sustainability of VRFBs and to ensure that they are mentioned in broader discussions when it comes to energy storage solutions, green or clean energy, as well as sustainable development. Next slide, please, John. So in 2021, there were over 7,000 mentions of VRFBs in energy storage conversations across online platforms. And this includes websites, Twitter, blog posts, to name a few. John, if you can just click the next button, thank you. And that is more than 2020. In 2020, the number was sitting on on just 3,000. So we've managed to double this. And if we have a look at, if you can see on the graph, the new online news publications were the leading number of these, the leading mentions of the VRFBs. And if you have a look at the red arrow in July, we had distributed a release titled Energy Storage Boom Drives Vanadium in Long Storage Battery Applications. And this can be a contributor to the significant spike we see there by the arrow. Next slide, please, John. These are next. These are just some examples of the release that we had distributed last year. And next slide, please, John. And now we move on to VRFB keywords. So keywords are basically words, significant words or phrases that are associated with particular phrases or topics. And if we look at the word cloud below, these are some of the words that are associated with VRFBs and Vanitec. And these keywords help assist us with drafting content that is relevant and ensures that VRFBs are part of broader conversations when it comes to energy storage solutions. Next slide, please, John. Next. If we focus on the renewable energy storage keyword, it occurred on over 1,000 times. And these are just some of the articles that speak to renewable energy storage solutions and that also speak to vanadium in that keyword. Next slide, please, John. And now we will go into hashtags. So basically the correct use of hashtags ensures that VRFBs are included in the right conversations and also assist in reaching wider audiences and conversations on broader topics that are associated with energy storage, as well as renewable energy or green technology. And the top VRFB hashtags for 2021 are vanadium, VRFB, as well as energy storage. However, it's also important to note that renewable energy and sustainability were also among the top hashtags used. Next slide, please, John. And these are just practical examples of how we would use these hashtags on Vanitec's social media pages, but also used by vanadium supporters or people that are interested in energy storage who advocate for the use of vanadium, as per the last example shown. Next slide, please, John. Just to go over the marketing assets overview for 2021, these include redefining our key messages as well as content development. And the assets and some of the assets and tools that we used include animations, infographics, fact sheets, micro videos, as well as thought leadership pieces. And the channels we use to distribute all this content, social media, as well as traditional media. And now I'll just take you through examples of these assets. These were the two animations that we had done for 2021. Next slide, please, John. John, can you please, I think we went to, oh, there we go. Thank you. And these are just snippets of thought leadership pieces that we have distributed that were published in online publications. Next slide, please, John. Thank you. And then these are 2 fact sheets. We did one on VRFBs being a true circular economy technology. And the other one we did was VRFBs are the solution to renewable energy storage challenges. Next slide, please. And this is just an example of a micro video that we're currently working on. If you could please play it with audio, John. Thank you. There's no audio on my end, but basically we use the Vanitech compendium to develop this micro video. But it would be very cool to have actual pictures and stills of these videos. So if any of the members have these, we are happy to use them instead of what we have animated here. So the purpose of these micro videos is just to show all the installations that are currently operational across the world. And we'll be working on doing more of these. So for 2022, as we had previously discussed, VRFBs are currently in the growth phase. Next, can you just click on the next? Thank you. So as we had previously discussed, VRFBs are currently in the growth phase of the marketing timeline. And VRFBs are going to be in this phase for a number of years as the energy storage market continues to grow and boom. Next slide, please, John. And for 2022, our focus will be on promoting VRFBs as the best long duration energy storage solution. And Vanitech will increase its efforts in the promotion of VRFBs through increasing engagement as well as raising awareness in order to remain at the forefront of the energy storage discussion. Next slide, please, John. The outlook for 2022 is an important part of 2022 is basically increasing and the awareness and promoting vanadium and its uses as a green metal, which will include updating the Vanitech website content to focus more on ESG, and it will include some of the information that my colleague Gabriella just presented today. And we'll also create a sustainability tab on the website, and that will include updated research on vanadium, stats on carbon savings, as well as vanadium's contribution to UN SDGs, COP26, and any other climate action goals. And our content creation will also continue to focus on sustainability and ESG as core themes through using targeted messaging, promoting VRFBs as a superior energy storage solution through education and raising awareness, targeted thought leadership content, industry-focused developments, trends, and reports, and promoting energy storage and the VRFB market growth. Thank you. That is all.
Thank you, Naledi. Anyone have any
Thank you.
questions for Lifa Communications at all?